What's up, guys? I already kind of regret this decision because it is like 90 degrees and the mosquitoes are just ruthless right now. But I got the XOP Super Fly with the hydro sticks, and I had this idea to practice hiking it in, setting it up in a tree, going through that process. It's middle of July right now, obviously well a ways from bow season, but figure starting now, work out some kinks. I've been playing around with this stand. It's a hybrid stand and the hydro sticks, and kind of found some little tips to it. Wanted to share that with you guys, so hopefully you can utilize the same thing come bow season here. So first of all, I walked in with this. This is how I strapped it up. And let me talk a little bit about these straps first that you hook onto the stand. They designed these so you can adjust this, but then they also have right here these straps which kind of help take a little weight off the shoulders too. So you have the dual strap adjustments, and I'll show you there's kind of a trick to putting those on. And then right now I have my Striker, I think it's called the Striker something pack. XOP makes this pack for bow hunting. I wouldn't say this is the best pack to go over the stand. The reason is it's kind of unnecessary because you don't need the straps. With that said, I kind of used those backpack straps. I'll show you what I did with them here. I kind of set these straps right over so they go onto the stand. As you can see, there's the straps on it, but you don't really need that. By the way, this rechargeable thermocell I think is keeping me sane right now. It's at least somewhat keeping the bugs off me. Anyways, here's the Super Fly. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already looked into it a little bit. I was really sold on this for the lightweight aspect of it and the ability to hybrid hunt out of it, which means I'm still going to saddle hunt and wear the saddle. Super lightweight, but also it has the seat that I can sit down on it. This whole thing, I think the stand itself is about 5.5 pounds. And then the hydro sticks are like 3 pounds total, or something like that. I'll put the actual specs in the description, but as you can see, super concise. Technically, if I wore my saddle and carried my bow, this is all I would have to pack in. These sticks have the aiders with them and the nano ropes that I'll show you how to set them up. And the stand, this is everything I need right here. The straps stay on it. This has a shelf lock system. A simple turn of this shelf lock and it rotates up. There's my stand. Okay, and I'll leave these straps like this when I'm sitting in the tree. I'll probably just kind of lift them up like that, maybe tie these ropes. But honestly, I kind of like the fact that it gives a little natural, like, kind of vines coming from above that, from a deer looking up at me. Just offers a little bit more concealment, I guess you could say. Holy smokes, it's hot out here. For those of you that have this stand, I'm going to tell you right now, putting these straps on, there's nothing online that I could find showing you how to put these straps on, okay? But essentially what you're going to have to do is you're detaching these ones go here, and I tried some different arrangements. These ones work best going right here, okay? You can kind of see what one that's on. Fitting these things through is a pain in the butt. I'm just going to be honest with you. You've got to pull this whole thing through that little loop to get that. So just be prepared. If you're wondering, why does this fit so tough? Like, that's what you got to do. All right, but once it's on, you should never have to take it off. And then obviously these bottom straps, these things come all the way out, and then eventually once you get that D-loop through, thread it back in. All right. If you're still confused about that, comment below. I can make a separate video showing you how, but the last thing I'm going to do is redo that out here and get chomped by mosquitoes. A couple things that I already found to be helpful. and I'm just gonna mention it right away. I know guys like to stealth strip their stands. I don't think you need to stealth strip everything. This stand is designed to be very good about limiting metal to metal contact. However, with that said, there's a few spots where I noticed some slight noise. One is when you close it like this, put a stealth strip right there, that absorbs it. Another one is when you close the seat. It's quiet now, but there used to be a little banging right here. Put a stealth strip on that thing. All right. Same thing right here when you lift that up. I can do a whole other detailed portion of that at a later time, but that's the Super Fly. All right, now I'm going to show you the hydro sticks, and we're going to start climbing up this thing. I'll put a chest strap mount on here for you guys to get more of a point of view perspective as I'm setting these sticks up. I'm going to just get into the saddle harness right now. This is the Mutant. Normally I'd be walking in with this thing on, but I decided to just, I had it in my bag and I just walked it in with the bag. All right, at this point, I'd get to the base of my tree. And I'd probably put the stand on my back again. And here we've got the hydros. I had the X2s last year and I liked those, but I really was sold on the hydros for the fact that they just fit right down on the Super Fly. So I'm going to show you a little tip with these hydros. Eventually I do think I am going to put some stealth strips right on the insides of these. Listen as I pull these apart. Slight amount of metal on metal. So what I'm going to do, kind of right there, I'm going to put a little stealth strip right there so that when that nut hits there, it's going to be less. And I'm going to put a little bit on the, just so when you're pulling them apart, I'm going to go try and put a little bit on those insides. We'll see how that works, because you can see there's enough room there where I have enough gap to put a few stealth strips on the inside of that. All right, if you don't, I mean, just be careful when you're pulling them apart and then you're good to go. So here is a tip that buddy Tom showed me with the hydros. All right, so you've obviously got the aider and the rope all in one. That's what's sweet about these. I don't need to grab different buckles or cam buckles or anything like that. To start, we're going to take down this aider, and eventually I'll show you how I wrapped these up, but they kind of loop right over themselves. So right there, they're back down. All right, what this allows is I can set this thing up pretty high to start, and I've got that rope aider to get me on that first step. I'll show you that at the end, how I wrap those up. And then this rope stores really nicely, so I unwind that right on that button and it's ready to go. All right, I just switched this to super wide view, so hopefully you can see it, but you're essentially gonna get this up to, and I'm gonna start by doing it about as high as I can, but for the video's sake I'll just do it a little lower so you can kind of see it. So I'm gonna start it right here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loop this all the way around. Try to keep it as level as you can. Once I get to this, I'm gonna go around twice, and I'm gonna come down behind it and over. That is, cinch that down. That's literally all you got to do. At that point, I'm gonna kind of pull the bottom part out, slide it down a bit, and that thing is locked on there. Obviously with the aider, I can use that to go 1, 2, 3, get up to that top step. So I'll take my other stick with me. I gotta figure out a good way to like ideally clip this onto my belt or something like that. Onto my harness would be nice. Like I said, normally I'd have this up a little bit higher. And before I do any of that, safety first, I gotta take my lineman's belt out. So I keep this pouch on my lineman belt. And I'm gonna pull out that, pull that out for while I'm climbing up. Get that wrapped around right away. And I clipped it back in there. So probably not the best spot to put the tree thing for that reason. All right, so now I can climb up this, working that up as we go. I can lean back on this right now. And now that I'm up here, I can get my other stick. I ended up just putting this back on the seat of the stand. And from here, same idea. As you can see, I think it's easy to reach that around, get this end, and bring that end around. Same thing then. I'm gonna loop, loop, go behind it, loop, loop, cinch. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing a second loop, I guess. You can never be too careful with this. But that holds in super tight. So much nicer than what was used in the past. For me, anyway. Anyways, back to the aider. And keep in mind, I'm always got my tree tether to make sure I'm safe while doing this. Now, at this point, I'm now 2 sticks up. Normally I would be higher than this, but I'm not, because I wanted the, what's it called? The hydros to be, you know, in the camera frame for you guys. I didn't reach them as high as I could. So I didn't fully utilize the aiders. But despite that, for only 2 sticks, I am up here a ways. Plenty enough to kill a deer. And honestly, I've had it happen bow hunting where sometimes I focus on getting too high up and then I have a deer come within like 10-15 yards of me, and it's actually like an awkward shot for me because it's such a tough angle. So more and more I'm gonna focus more on not having to hunt so high. I don't always think it's a benefit. Anyways, at this point, in a different pocket, I like to switch to my tree tether. So I'm gonna get that tree tether out now and just get that set up. Now, I'm sure I don't have to do that part first, but personally it gives me a lot more confidence, trust in this tree tether, opposed to the just the lineman's belt. So now I can take this part off because I'm strapped in up here. Obviously I'm not actually deer hunting right now. It's middle of July, so I'm not being very careful of stuff like this. Eventually when you're hunting, guys wrap this up with stealth strips too. And as you can hear, it's probably a great idea. Put a little bit of a stealth strip right there, put stealth strips on this back, and don't just let it slam like I'm doing right now. That can go back in the pouch. And now it's time to take the stand off your back. I don't know how this is filming for you guys, but just trying to do the chest mount to really give you an idea of what it's like to do it from your perspective. I know a lot of guys do this type of video where they're right off the ground and not actually up in the tree attached to the tether, so I think it's kind of good for you to just visualize what this actually looks like for safety purposes too. And by no means am I a super experienced saddle hunter either, so if you are watching this and you have other tips or you have other ideas to be more efficient, please share them in the comments, not just for me, but for every other viewer watching. I'm not someone who's going to get salty or offended by some positive feedback to help me be more efficient and safer in the whitetail woods. I feel like as bow hunters, like as we get older and older, we take safety much more serious. I can't say that was the case when I was a young grasshopper. Thinking back to some of the stuff that I'd hunt out of, like, oh boy. But as we age, take that stuff more seriously. So at this point, we can undo the shelf lock. And there we go. We got the stand. Now what's really nice, because it's so light, it's very easy to be able to have this with one hand and hold it. I've got one of the ropes already wrapped up on here, so I can simply undo that. All right, so you reach around to get it there. All right, and once you get from here, I'm gonna go around this 2 times. 2 times around, and then I'm gonna go down behind this part, lift up, and pull that down again. Like I said, I have been doing it in a second time too, just for more security, I guess, but you don't have to. All right, so then you kind of push that down a little bit, and then essentially just visualize right here to get it to the level you want. If for some reason this tree was angled a little bit, or I wanted it to slope down a little bit more or up a little bit more, and I'm just looking for where this is going to be level with these cables tight, so I might go to that middle one right there, tighten that up. Super nice feature of it. All right, deer just took off. That's awesome. Kind of excited to get this set up and just shut up and sit for a bit. Now that I got elevated up here, I'm not feeling the mosquitoes aren't up here, and there's a nice breeze. Feels awesome to be in a tree. It's gonna feel better when it's about 35 degrees and there's a cold front coming through, but you get the idea. All right, so once that part is set right there, to do this bottom part of it, technically if it was just a stand, like this would hold you, but especially with saddle hunting, you want to do that bottom part so there's no kick out there. All right, it comes with another rope. You can use another rope, but just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you guys their C3 micro buckle. So all you're doing on this is wraps around. You got 2 gray loops, a loop and a loop. All right, and then you just pull these tight. At this point, angle this stand about 15 degrees. You don't want to go any more than 15 degrees. And that's going to just be a proper amount for when you toe kick this thing in. Once you are up, just make sure to slide that tree tether up. And that's it, guys. There's the Super Fly. And we are up here in the tree. 2 sticks. If I had to estimate how tall that is, I guess I'm not even sure how high that is up, but pretty sturdy right now. As you can see, it's a hybrid platform, okay? So it's not like I have a ton of room to move my feet around and space, but you just got to be smart about it. So as a saddle hunter then, when I'm saddle hunting with this, I'm going to be able to flip this up and I can adjust my mutant saddle, and eventually I'm going to put a certain type of padding on here, maybe a pack also, so I can have gear, you know, grunt tube hanging, range finder, stuff like that. And then I've got this angle to shoot from. Now the wings on the backside, this is kind of a unique aspect of it. You got to step over that, but it allows me to get really wide. I can get out here, all right, and I can work around all different parts of this tree to be able to shoot. So if I had a deer coming up this hill, I'm going to be kind of adjusting myself accordingly. Same thing on this side. If I need to adjust from a deer coming this way, I can move. All right, I got my tether, and it takes just a level of just time to become confident in the saddle, knowing that it's safe to lean back and trust in that, right? But what's cool about this, especially on those all-day sits, after a while, I'm gonna just flip this right down. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit, and now I'm just sitting on the tree like a traditional bow stand, which, I'll be honest, all these people are like, all like saddle hunting is everything. Let's be real, sitting down is gonna feel so much nicer for the majority of the time. And for that reason, me personally anyway, I'm gonna do most of my hunting right here. I'm gonna be sitting down. I'm gonna have this as my primary trail. It's a right-handed shooter. That's what I'm setting up on. But with the tree behind me, if there is a deer working from the back end, I know I have the saddle option to stand up, adjust this, and then kind of saddle hunt from the back side. So 360 degrees around this tree, I can confidently get a shot off. And that's what I love about it. So, I don't know. I'm hot, sweaty, full of bug bites. But I just wanted to do a little bit of a setup tutorial for you. Maybe when I get back down, I'll show a few more of the details, where to put stealth strips. I am going to show you how to wrap up the hydros when I get down to those. And eventually, like I said, if you have recommendations for a good pack for it, specifically, I'm looking for a good pack right here. If you guys have any ideas of a good like underneath pack with these molly straps or whatever, like to put onto there, I'm really looking for one of those. I don't love how this wobbles. I'm not sure if that's what's going on with that. I almost want to look into that a bit, why that's a little wobbly. Maybe I could tighten that down or put some other washers in between it, I don't know. That would be my only complaint so far about this, is just the slight wobble on that. Doesn't really make noise. Otherwise, I love this setup. Like I said, at the end of the day, you got to remember, it's a 5.3 pound stand. Hang on tree stand that you can also saddle hunt out of with the wings on the back end to be able to really push that. So looking forward to it being a lot cooler and doing some hunting with this. I'll show you how I wrap up those hydros too. Packing up, pretty simple. Take off the bottom one. These C3s, I think there technically is a way where I could wrap them up on the stand, but these I just set up in my pocket. Instead, undo this. And for this, I just wrap this right around here, over and over and over. Then they got a nice little Velcro or bungee at the end. Shelf lock that, and you can put this right back on your back. Now at this point, I'm going to go back to the tree tether, or sorry, lineman belt. I always use those interchangeably. Because now that allows me to take this off, and I'm going to just drop that to the bottom. Once I get to my bottom hydro, take these off. All right, and then we're down. Lineman belt can go back in the pouch. Hydro climbing stick. Here's how good these hydros are. Look at, I just took the rope off them. I mean, they bite that tree well. All right, let me show you how to wrap these hydros up so they're really efficient and packed down nice. Take this, go here, 1, 2, I found 3 right away works best. Down, up, down, up, down, and then bungee right there. Okay, from there, take the aider. My buddy Tom showed me this. Works awesome. Go here. Go here. Go here. And right there, it's all concise. All right, and the other one's gonna go right on top of that. All right, and then when you have both of them wrapped up like that, line them up right there. And then I take a gear strap and put a gear strap around them to ensure there's not much moving around. All right, it's that simple. Those fit perfectly right there. And then some people will also take a gear strap and put it right here so that this doesn't have any tendency to bounce around. But yeah, guys, that's it. Hydro sticks on the Super Fly hybrid saddle. Hope that helps when you go out in the woods. Like I said, just be safe with it. Try it out first at tree level before you start, you know, going 20 feet up or anything like that. Just keep hoping for cooler weather, fall days in the tree. Thanks for watching. I'll put the links to this stuff in the description for you guys.